Hi students, welcome back to CS Knowledge Opener. Today we are going to see the subject Computer Application for 12th Standard. This is Bhaskaran. Today we are going to see about the topic Multimedia and Desktop Publishing. Before we are going to chapter, we learned about what are the objectives in multimedia and desktop publishing. First, to understand the multimedia tools, what are the tools are using in the multimedia? How can we create the object using various tools and effect to object? To know various multimedia file format for sound and video. To understand the multimedia production method and the team activities. These are the objectives in multimedia and desktop publishing. Introduction to multimedia. Multimedia allow the user to combine and change data from various sources like image, text, graphics, video, audio to a single platform. So, here given what is multimedia? What is the purpose of multimedia? Okay, we know about the multimedia. Multimedia contains image, text, audio, video, everything. So, here given a multimedia is becoming more popular among the user in the terms of its use and application. Many things they are using in computerized for application purpose. Without multimedia nowadays people cannot survive. So everywhere, every place the multimedia are using in the society. The next one, multimedia definition. This is a 2 more questions. The word multimedia consists of two words, multi and media. You know about multi, one or more than many things. Media, you know about the media, televisions, newspapers. So these are the media. So the multimedia is to be split multi and media, which means multiple forms of media are combined together and provide service like storage, communication, presentation and input output interactions of text, video, image, graphics and audio. The next one, the term multimedia comprise of two words, that is multi and medium. Multi refers to many. I said already, multi is more than anything. That is at least two. Okay. The next one, components of multimedia. What are the multimedia components? Multimedia has 5 major components like text, image, sound, video and animations. So these are the main 5 major components of multimedia. In that, I specify 2 types of elements. What are the 2 types of elements? One is a dynamic and another one is a static element. You know about the dynamic. The dynamic has to be changed. They have happened changes. But static is a constant. Okay. So a dynamic elements is a given video, animation and audio. A static element given text, graphics. So first we are going to see about the components of multimedia. Text components. A text is the basic element of multimedia and most components ways of communicating information to other person. So we know about multimedia. Multimedia is the main thing we have to communicate with other person. This is the main concept. Multimedia is we have to communicate with one person to another person. In what way we can communicate with other person? With help of audio, video, text, etc. Like that we have to communicate with other person. So here they given the first component text. Text is the basic components. Text is the basic components of multimedia. So some of the text communicating to others. For example, if you see the Coca-Cola, if you see the Coca-Cola brand, they are given the text. They are given some stylish text. It is a brand of the text. If you write the text in, if you see the text in somewhere, you just tell it is a Coca-Cola. It is a brand text name. So that is a communicating to some other person. This is a Coca-Cola company. This is a Coca-Cola brand. How you can identify? With help of text. The next one, this text can be classified two types. One is a static and another one is a hypertext. A static text, the text or words will remain a static as heading or in line or in a paragraph. Here we see the text for communicating to person. I said a Coca-Cola is the example for Coca-Cola. I said text is to communicate with some person. Here static text. What is the static text? The static text, they not specify full text. They only specify some paragraph or single word or single sentence like that they have given in the static text. The static text, the word will either give information or support image or an video. The next one, hypertext. A hypertext is a system which consists of nodes. The text and the links between the node which define the path user need to follow for the text access in non-sequential way. Hypertext is nothing but if you want to browse in computer, you have to search some information in the browser. I want to search the information about computer. So I am going to browse with computer and getting the information about a computer. What is computer? When I get some information here, giving additional link in between the paragraph. If I click the particular link, it moves on to another web page. There I get some information about or related about computer. So here see the picture. While you browsing the computer, you get some information. Here give some link. If you click the link, it moves on to the another web page and you get some information. So this is about hypertext. A text is used to convey the information and must be placed at appropriate position in order to obtain the well formatted sentence and paragraph. So this is about hypertext. The next component, image. Next component, image. The image acts as an vital component in multimedia. These images are generated by computer in two ways, as bitmap or raster images and as vector images. Now we are going to the second components of multimedia, image. So text, with help of text we have to communicate with some person. The same thing with help of the image component we get some information. Okay, so these images can be split into two types. One is a raster and another one is a vector. Raster images, otherwise called as bitmap image. The common and comprehensive form of storing images in computer is raster or bitmap image. So bitmap is a simple matrix of tiny dots called pixel. First you know about what is a raster image, how it looks like. So this is a raster images. If you, for example, but take a mobile phone, snap some pictures and enlarge the picture. If you enlarge the picture or otherwise zoom the picture, you may happen the picture is blur. If the picture is blur, you see the images, it looks like tiny dots. It looks like a tiny dots. If you see the example of the picture, here given some picture. When I zoom this picture, the picture looks like a square shape. Everything should be in square shape. So these tiny dots is called pixel. So every pixel make one image. I understand. Every pixel make one image. So that form of raster or bitmap image, each pixel consists of two or more colors. It depends upon colors. Example, one bit, you know about the bits, already you learned bit, bytes, everything in 11th standard. Okay, bit zeros and ones. 4 bits mean 16 color. 8 bit indicate 256 color and so on. These are the things are 1 mark questions. Okay, so the raster image, this is about concept of raster images. The next one, vector images. A drawing element or object such as line, rectangle, circle and so on to create an images are based on vector images. So before you saw raster images, you take a snap of picture, the next you have enlarged the picture, you know that is a tiny dot, so that is called pixel. So every pixel make some images. So here the vector images has been used some circles, drawings, for example sketch drawings. Okay, using some drawings and creating some images. For example cartoons they are using some sketch drawings. So that is called vector images. See this example picture. So this is a vector images. Compression techniques are used to reduce the file and size of images. So if you capture some snap in mobile phones or digital camera, anything, it takes more file. It takes more file. File size is also very big. But here vector images is a using to draw some pictures and it reduces the size of images. That is useful for storing the large number of images and speeding the transmission for network application. So this is about bitmap and vector images. So here given some types of image format. This type of image format given in your textbook. This is difference between raster and vector images. See how the raster images looks like. It looks like a, if you blur the picture, if you zoom the picture, it happens some blur. Okay, so vector images you can get the pictures accurately. Okay, so these are the difference. These pictures are we can easily identify whether which one is raster and which one is vector images. Okay, so these are the concept about raster and vector images. The next topic we move on to animation. Everyone we know about animation because we are watching the what? Cartoon channels and cartoon movies. Everything should be nowadays in animation. So animation is the process displaying stills images so quickly so that they give the impression of continuous movement. So animation give the continuous movement. That is the main thing. Okay, so they have some process. The simple picture make the animation to visualize the real world. That is not real. Cartoon movies are not real. These are imagined. We had to imagine ourselves and seeing the cartoon movies in the screen. So, the least frame, everything, the animation should be the main thing is a frame. So, the least frame rate, at least 16 frame per second gives the impression of smoothness, and for natural looking it should be least 25 frames per second. So frame means nothing but the bit rate, how the animation process is going on. It depends upon the bit rate. So this is an example about the animation movie. Okay, I given only the picture. You can see more animation movie in theaters. Animation may be into 2 or 3 dimensional. The 2-dimensional animation brings the image alive that occur, while in 3-dimensional animation it occurs along the 3 axes x, y, z. 2-dimensional axis x and y. 3-dimensional animation dimension we get x, y, z. Okay, so the animation, the main concept of animation is the process of continuous movement. Okay, so this animation also classified into 2 types. One is a path animation and another one is a frame animation. A path animation involves the moving an object on screen that has constant background. Example, the cartoon character may move across the screen regardless of any change in the background or the character. So path animation, only the character can move. The background has not been moved. Only the character can move here and there and we can watch. Background is simply we can see. Frame animation. A frame animation is a multiple objects are allowed to travel simultaneously and background or the object can also change. Frame animation we can see the background also can change. First see the here given one Spider-Man picture. Okay, so here background pictures also moving. So this is a frame animation. But path animation, only the characters can move. Background cannot move. Here frame animation, background, characters and pictures also move. So this is about the frame. I already said no frame. The one boy standing here, he going to fell down. So they taken each step by step how they are folding. So this is the frame. What is the first frame? He is standing. Second frame is just moving. Third frame, fourth frame, fifth frame. Finally he fell down. So this is a frame. So frame by frame the pictures has been moved. So we get the visualize the cartoon movies. The next topic, sound. Sound is a meaningful speech in any language. The next component is a sound. So sound is also communicate to another person, communicate to other person, text, image, sound. So providing some music, voice, special effect, anything we have to communicate with some person. In the sound concept, they are using the musical instrument digital identifier, MIDI. These tools are flexible, easy to composing the project and multimedia. These are the tools format, about if you mobile phone, if you see the mobile phone, many ringtones are in your mobile phone. It should be in represent mp3 format. Okay, they have many format. So likewise here MIDI format they are using, easy to composing. The next, this is a format for MIDI. The next one, digital audio. Okay, so a sample sound, digitized sound. Nowadays we are using in our home theater woofer. Okay, we adjusting the volume with the help of the bit rate. We need a clarity. Okay, cube sound. Okay, everything nowadays digitalized audio we are using. For example, the best example digitalized audio, cinema theaters. If you move to cinema theaters, they introducing the many cubes, digitalized sound. It was very effective. So these are the things are using in the digital audio. The quality wise, the recording depends upon the sampling rate. The sampling rate, how often the samples take, how many number of used to represent the value. Each sample bit, about bit, zeros and ones, already you learned. So everything depends upon the bit resolutions and sample size. Nowadays, everything should be a digitalized audio. The next one, the last component, video. Videos is also to communicate to some person. So the powerful way convey the information in multimedia applications are embedding of video. There are two types of video. One is analog video and a digital video. Analog video, the data is stored in a computer like videotape, laserdisc, film, etc. Divided further into two types of composite and component analog video. In olden days, mostly they used the tapes and TV. Everything should be used in analog video. The recording format was used. The customer unlocked the video, recording the tape formats such as Betamax and VHS. So these are the analog videos. Nowadays, they are using a digital video. Everything should be computerized and digitalized. Videos they are using effectively they are using in the video format. So this is about the concept of multimedia and definition of multimedia and components of multimedia. So what are the components? The major 5 components: text, images, sound, video, and finally animations. I hope you all understand this lesson. We have to see the next topic in next section. Thank you.